Hi. Welcome to the second workshop, mindfulness, focusing on overthinking and stress. I actually got the symptoms of the official symptoms of the COVID virus, but I never got tested. So I've got a bit of a cough right now, but I don't know if it's to do with the virus or not. Probably isn't. So I'm going to try and make this workshop as effective for everyone as possible. Hopefully it should help most people. If you find it hasn't helped you, then do get in touch with me on my Facebook page, Mindfulness Process Therapy, and to arrange a one-to-one, which I'm offering for free for a few people on here. And you might need something slightly different. It's possible. But this should hopefully do something for almost everyone. So I'll take us through the gears again with a focus on overthinking, stress, and thinking, what to do about thinking. A lot of mindfulness teachers say, I've heard it said a few times, you can't stop thinking, you can't actually stop thoughts in meditation. That's actually not completely correct. Thinking does completely drop away in the very deep meditation naturally. It's just that you can't stop thinking through effort, just through willpower. You just have to keep relaxing into meditation. So what are we trying? What can we do when we've got too much thinking? The main advice is don't think about it. Don't do anything about it, because that's adding more activity on top of the activity that's already going on. So the main thing we want to do is to enjoy relaxation. So one image for thoughts in meditation is like clouds that arise and pass across the sky. I quite like the idea of the train metaphor. You can, or I came up with one for taxis. So it's like a thought pops up in your meditation. It's like a taxi's going past. You don't have to get in the taxi. So you got taxis going past. They're like thoughts. They come and go. You don't have to get in any of the taxis. Or you can choose what thought to take notice of and follow. So in meditation, thoughts will keep popping up. So we're not trying to stop the thoughts popping up. What we're trying to do is choose not to follow those thoughts and keep thinking of about thought, or keep thinking after thoughts popped up. Does that make sense? So let's try an exercise now, a couple of minutes, with thoughts as the focus. So we're doing the direct approach to the mindfulness process, and we're using with a focus on thoughts for 2 minutes. So just rest the eyes, let the eyes rest sort of half open naturally wherever they fall, and wait until you notice a thought has popped up. And then when you notice that, if you do, just allow it to pass away naturally, rather than continuing a train of thought. Let's try it for a couple of minutes, see how it goes. Okay, then that's about 2 minutes. So you may have noticed thoughts popping up. You may have been able to allow them just to pass away again. You may not have noticed any thinking at all. That's possible. As might be easy, might not be easy, depending on the kind of momentum of thinking that's there already. So I think the main thing I recommend with this is that you do have a sense of you are enjoying some relaxation of some kind, even if it's a small amount. So it's good not to do this as a kind of discipline or use of willpower. You are actually enjoying relaxation, even if it's a small amount. So one thing I recommend is to when you're doing this exercise, to think in terms of, is it more enjoyable to do lots of thinking, or is it more enjoyable to relax the thinking? So that's a good thought. If you're going to, using a thought to reduce overthinking, that's a good thing to think during the meditation. Is it enjoyable to do all this thinking? And what I find is when I relax the thinking, it's actually more satisfying. That's a good thing to have as a focus. So that's the direct method. You're just we're not adding an activity. We're just stopping, and that can be like the first thing you can try when you find you're thinking too much or stressed. Is you can just stop, do nothing, let your eyes rest naturally, and it's like unwind. It's like letting a wind-up toy unwind. So we built up all this momentum of thinking, especially studying. So let's try that just for another minute, with remembering, like asking the question: is it enjoyable to do all the thinking or to relax the thinking? And see if that makes a difference. Let's do another minute now. of that exercise. Even if it's just a small amount of enjoyment of relaxation. Okay, that's about a minute now. So what sometimes what people find is if you've have a focus on thinking, it might not actually help to relax thinking, whereas if you focus on something else, that sometimes works more effectively. So different things will work for different people. One of the main things is not to add activity on top of activity. So it's common. I think it's common for people to learn meditation and then try it and find actually they're suddenly aware of lots of thinking that was always there, but we weren't. But the meditation makes us more aware of the thinking that was already happening, and then we suddenly think, "Oh, we're actually thinking more." Meditation's made us think more. That's not actually the case. We're just more aware of, because actually the brain's designed to throw out thoughts all the time. That's just the natural healthy function of the brain. And that only calms down in deep meditation. So it's normal and healthy to have lots of thinking, and yeah, not trying to stop the thoughts popping up. So, and then when it suddenly feels like there's lots of thinking, when we're learning meditation, we can be sitting there actually thinking, I can't stop thinking, I can't meditate that well because I'm thinking, and that's another thought that's hindering your meditation. So it's like shooting yourself in the foot a little bit. But that goes the same for any thoughts, even traumatic thoughts or disturbing thoughts. We sometimes want to block them out or stop them, memories or emotions even. And that doesn't seem to work. Partly because the momentum it's built up, and sometimes there's a message in there for us. So for many people, a traumatic thought for one person they might cling on to it. We might cling on to it and cause ourselves suffering. For someone else, exactly the same traumatic thought or image or memory might pop up. We might think, oh, that's just the brain popping up, throwing out something, nothing I need to worry about. So that's ideally what we're looking for, letting the thought pop up and pass away. Let's so if that direct approach isn't easy, we can then use an activity to help cut through the habit of thinking. We did this last time, where we added a positive word during the out breath. So breathing normally, And then during the whole of the out breath, you can say in your mind a positive word like peace, calm, relax, or any positive word, and kind of draw it out during the out breath in your mind. And if that feels relaxing, that can help. And the repetition of that can cut through the previous thinking habit. So let's try that for a couple of minutes and see what that is like. So I like the word peace, but relax is also could be a good one. Or it can be a prayer or mantra. I quite like just a short, simple word. So let's do a couple of minutes. Again, resting the eyes, or you can close the eyes if you like. Using the positive word. Okay, so that's about 2 minutes now. So I call that stepping down a gear, because adding a gentle mental or physical activity can make the mindfulness process a bit easier. So that was adding mental activity of the repetition of the positive word, which can cut through the previous habit of the thinking pattern. Okay, for many people that might not be enough. So in terms of gears, you can keep stepping up the level of activity until it is strong enough to counter the unwanted thinking, unwanted thoughts temporarily. This isn't something that is the core of what we think of as meditation. It's more like getting the momentum, getting started, an intervention, just temporarily. Breathing exercises also do that. One thing it's worth knowing is that there's kind of no mental tension without physical tension. They go together. So another way we can kind of relax thinking is to relax physical tension. So that's that's kind of a direct approach. I tend to work on my eyebrows. If I've got there's always a bit of tension, I can relax with my eyebrows. So we haven't got much longer. Let's step up upper gear to what I call third gear, which is to add a bit more of a stronger physical activity. And this is good for getting you out of your head into your body. So that really, this is what mindfulness is all about, bringing the mind into the body. So mindfulness is not the mind being full; it's actually the body being full of awareness. So it's I think mindfulness is a good word, but we're really meditation or mindfulness is really more something you do with your body. Actually, let's try. Let's try a couple of minutes of third gear, what I call third gear, and you could do this by standing. You could stand, and you can bend the knees slightly, and that works the thighs. Okay. You can also do it with your arms. Yeah. So you're putting a load, or putting a little bit of work, getting the body to do a little bit of work. I'm going to do it with my arms. Just holding the arms out and bringing them in slightly and then out again. So you can do it with your legs or your arms. Let's do it for a couple of minutes. See what happens. Just don't do it for too. Only keep going if it feels okay. So this is again, we're doing the mindfulness process, but we're adding a bit more of a forceful physical activity. So bending the knees, working the thighs slightly if you feel comfortable. Doing that. And holding the arms outstretched. You can move them in a couple of inches and then out, very, very slow as you can. So we'll just do another minute. Noticing if anything's happening with your thoughts. Okay, let's pause there. So it might take more than a couple of minutes to get a sense of this. But if you do work, I mean, any exercise will do this. But if you do work the a bit more demand on the body physically, and afterwards you can get a pleasant feeling of relaxation or relief, and that's the enjoyment of relaxation. Actually, we're looking for. So that's good. So let's. So if you want to sit down again, and let's finish with a couple of minutes again of just resting the eyes, and exercise where we're not adding an activity of any kind. we're just directly enjoying relaxation. And looking for that feeling of, even if it's a small amount, of enjoying some relaxation. Okay. Okay, that's about 2 minutes now. So what you may have found that after stepping up and down the gears a little bit, after doing adding an activity to get some momentum going, it might be easier to do the direct method. See how that feels. You can try it. So I recommend in between the sessions, trying to do at least 1 minute, a 1 minute mindfulness, and you can add minutes on if you want to. I think one minute is a good kind of time because you can't be distracted for any more than a minute. That's the benefit of doing a 1 minute mindfulness. I've had meditations where I've been sitting for half an hour and I've been distracted for half an hour. So, and if there's any questions, you can just type them in, and or I'll have a look at them and try and answer them later. And if this hasn't helped you, then get in touch with me at the my Facebook page. Okay, so thanks very much. I think that's about half an hour now.